So here's an update on Yemen. Situation in Yemen is still an absolute quagmire, just total clusterfuck. Bodies of 25 migrants were recovered off of Yemen's coast. So migrant boat flipped over. There's like 200 people in the boat, but they found 25 bodies. So what happened to the other 175? Right off of Yemen's coast. No telling, what the migrants were doing there. African migrants. Fishermen said they recovered the 25 bodies after the boat they were traveling on capsized. Migrants often find themselves stranded in Yemen, which is mired in the world's worst humanitarian crisis after 6 years of conflict. June 14, 2021, the bodies of 25 migrants have been recovered off the coast of Yemen. So June 14th. They were carrying up to 200 people. It capsized. The boat overturned 2 days ago is carrying between 160 to 200 people, said Jali Ahmed Ali from the Lahij Provincial Authority, citing information given by Yemeni smugglers. The fate of the other people on board was unclear. 25 bodies of victims who appeared to be of African origin. Some of the many who tried to reach Yemen before crossing into the Gulf states. The fishermen said that the bodies were floating in the waters of the Ras Al Ara area in the southern province of Lahij, overlooking the Bab el Mandeb Strait off the coast of Djibouti. We saw the bodies floating in the water 10 miles from the shores of Ras Al Ara, said one of the fishermen. Despite the conflict in Yemen, migrants continue to travel there in hopes of moving through to find work in neighboring Saudi Arabia and other oil-rich states whose economies depend on millions of foreign laborers. Migrants often find themselves stranded in Yemen, which is mired in the world's worst humanitarian crisis after 6 years of conflict. Dubai, I guess this is where they wrote the article. The boat sank. This is Reuters. I think the above stuff that I just said was Al Jazeera. Excuse me. The boat sank around 18 nautical miles off the coast of Al-Makka, the local official said. The perilous sea journey from Horn of Africa countries, including Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, and Djibouti, is part of a long-standing migration route to take people north through Yemen into the rich Gulf states for work. Yemen has been mired in violence since the Saudi-led coalition intervened against the Houthis in 2015. 6 years, 80% of Yemen's population needs aid. They're starving, they're dying. It's a genocide. It's a genocide. And why? Why? Because the United States picked Saudi Arabia over Iran. It's a proxy war. You got Iran and Saudi Arabia. It's like Vietnam. Remember when it was, Russia and America and Vietnam? We're fighting, it's a colonialist war, right? But ultimately, who's funneling money for the North and who's funneling money for the South? So this is it's kind of like a Vietnam. You have a proxy war between Iran and Saudi Arabia. It's taking place in Yemen. Yemen, 2015, they're going to take, the Houthis are going to take power, and then the Saudi Arabians are going to defend the old government, and Iran is going to defend the new government. It's been going on for 6 years now. And what does the United States do? Do we say, well, which side is right and which side is wrong? No, we just say, fuck it, we're going with our friend Saudi Arabia, our good buddy Saudi Arabia. So the United States government is going to ally with our good buddy Saudi Arabia. I guess the oligarchs and the plutocrats are getting some fucking deal out of that shit, right, with the glowing orb and all that crazy-ass shit, holding hands and shit. My God, Saudi Arabia, they say that the UK and the US, that's like a special relationship. What the fuck is this special, this peculiar relationship that's going on with the government of America and the government of Saudi Arabia? I want to just remind Americans, who Saudi Arabia, they had a lot to do with 9/11. So 9/11, let's talk about 9/11, okay? So 9/11 was an attack on America, right? It's only, since the War of 1812, we haven't been attacked on the homeland forever. And now you had the September 11 attacks, often referred to as 9/11. It's a series of 4 coordinated terrorist attacks by the Wahhabi Islamist terrorist group Al-Qaeda against the United States on the morning of Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. 15 of the men were from Saudi Arabia. 2 were from the United Arab Emirates, 1 from Egypt, and 1 from Lebanon. So 15 of the 19 hijackers from Saudi Arabia. The other one, UAE, Egypt, and Lebanon, right? The other 4. So 15. So you could say the bulk, the vast majority of the 9/11 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, America's buddy. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, all right, so what? Saudi Arabia just produced the people. I mean, it wasn't like the government or the oligarchs were. It's not like they're financed by the people, that have wealth and power. No, that's exactly, probably financed by the government or the oligarchs of Saudi Arabia. They blocked that shit not because, of justice, because they know that if it goes through, then somebody's going to have to pay for 9/11. Osama bin Laden, he's Saudi Arabian. The bin Laden family is Saudi Arabian. And Saudi Arabia, maybe they just have great democracies, maybe just great policies, just good democratic policies that the whole world should, they're our buddies because, they got some failings, but there's, we're on Saudi Arabia's side. We're on Saudi Arabia's side. 6 years, civil war, we're on the wrong side. It's displaced 4 million people. Over 100,000 easily have been killed. They're starving to death. The people's Yemen, it's a genocide. It's a genocide right in front of our eyes, and we're on the wrong side of history. So it has to do with the Houthis, and it has to do with the state. So Saudi Arabia, the United States, 22, we execute by electric chair, legally, judicially, we execute 22 Americans every year. 22, not too bad, right? 22, that don't sound too bad. Unless you had the 3,000 executions by gunshot, by cop in the streets. Okay, now it's, 3,022. Maybe you could divide by 50. What's 3,000 divided by 50? I wish I could do math in my head. 3,000 divided by 50, that comes to, that's about 60. So 60 executions per state. Saudi Arabia executes 200. Okay, so Saudi Arabia is actually more bloody than the United States of America when it comes to executions. Now, what are they executing, people for? Some shit that, crimes. People want to hurt other people and they get, killed for crimes. Now, sometimes people will say that, the sorcery, witchcraft protest. 3 Arab Spring protesters were beheaded. They were arrested at the age of 17 in 2012 during the Arab Spring protest. This is Ali Al-Nimr, and then Dawood Al-Marhoon. So Dawood Al-Marhoon and Ali Al-Nimr is going to get tortured, forced to confess. Who knows if it was even true. So maybe they were protesters. Maybe they were just youngsters sentenced to decapitation in 2014 and 2015, and then they're going to kill his uncle, Sheikh Nimr Al-Nimr. Ali Al-Nimr's uncle was going to arrest in 2012, sentenced to death by the Specialized Criminal Court in 2014, and he's going to get executed in 2016. So there's 3 Arab Spring protesters. 3 Arab Spring protesters. Who knows if they were even protesting? They were tortured. So who the fuck knows what? So you can't protest. Don't even think about going to Saudi Arabia and, carrying a sign around. They'll fucking behead you. Okay, maybe, any other weird shit? Yeah, a couple other sorcery. There's a 2011, so 10 years ago, I guess maybe, anything recent? 10 years ago, they killed 2 witches, 1 man and 1 woman, Sudanese. Both were from Sudan. So 2011, September 2011, Sudanese man beheaded for sorcery. And sorcery, of course, is the use of black magic, right, witchcraft. So he was killed for being a witch. A Sudanese migrant worker goes to Saudi Arabia to, he's a poor worker looking for a couple fucking pennies. He's going to get beheaded for sorcery, beheaded for being a witch. I mean, America had a killing witch problem back in Salem, and then that was the rock that cracked the republic. An execution Amnesty International condemned as appalling. Yeah, of course, that is fucking gross as shit. Did that stop? No, that actually did. A couple months later, September, October, November, December, you're going to have Amina bint Abdul Halim bin Salem Nasser. So Amina. So this wasn't just the men who's practicing witchcraft, but it's also the women. Ministry gave no further details of any of the charges. She's executed for witchcraft, and there you go. That's it, you know. Amina, what? Yes, she was here yesterday, but she's not here today because in December 2011 we chopped off her head, and you know, on Monday in the northern province of Jawf, Jawf. Yeah, so Sudanese man, he was a witch. Sudanese woman, she was a witch. So head chopped off. 3 Arab Spring protesters. Maybe there are protesters. Maybe not. So not only is Saudi Arabia beheading, you know, doing these gruesome fucking killings over nothing, over dumb shit, witchcraft, fuck you. Yeah, right, well, they had a voodoo doll or some shit, and they were fucking making funny noises, and it made you nervous. Shut the fuck up. That shit's fuck off, motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. They also got apostasy, a lot of fucking shit. So, Saudi Arabia, I don't know, America, you really want to side with Saudi Arabia, the ones that perpetuated 9/11, the ones that financed 9/11, the ones that are, you know, creating just shit tons of terrorists all throughout the world. Their government's a bunch of fucking terrorists. Is that the ally? Is that your buddy? That's your best friend, huh? You're going to let people die. 25 migrants died, you know, whether it's related to the conflict. If Yemen wasn't, you know, all fucked up and shit, then perhaps they could have saved those people. But instead, they have a war that they have to fight, and then, you know, they got all this other shit, migrants and shit coming in and out. So, what the fuck? That puts it in the context. That's the historical context. So the United States is going to ally with Saudi Arabia. We're not going to pick the right side. We're just going to pick our buddies. And we're going to pick Saudi Arabia. And, you know, we're helping Saudi Arabia murder a bunch of Yemeni people. And 25 migrants just died. The boat capsized. I guess they're running from Africa, going into Yemen to go to Saudi Arabia. But the boat flipped over. Maybe... Man, who knows? Maybe Saudi Arabia fucking bombed them or something, you know? No telling. No telling what, but I think I'm going to, you know, do like a Yemen update every day. So that's the Yemen update. 25 migrant bodies were recovered off of Yemen's coast, and the 6-year genocide that the United States supports continues. It still carries on. Let's do better than